we have the Highlanders taking on the Rebels, with the Highlanders back at home. I don't know if this one's under the roof or out.
It is.
It's under the roof.
I've checked.
Good.
We also spoke to Kellaway at the end of the game on the weekend, and he was pumped to get under the roof. He said it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, how good. All right, well, Harry, do you want to take us through injuries for this one?
Yeah, Josh Dixon came off really early with zero fanfare whatsoever, zero announcement. It was just like, oh yeah, Josh Dixon was subbed 5 minutes ago and we're only 6 minutes into the game. So we don't really know yet what's happened there. There hasn't been anything.
And we have no locks as well at that point already.
They have literally no locks. I think Barry Parry, who's hopefully going to be back, he's had a virus and lost a lot of weight over the last 2 weeks. So, he's got some work to do there, but hopefully he's back.
Aaron give it to me? Jesus.
Sorry?
I said, can you pass that bug on to me, please?
Yeah, that's right. Aaron Smith has his back from his All Blacks rest, staying with Ethan de Groot. They rested Sam Gilbert after having a really big year so far, and Will Tucker potentially back from his concussion, which would obviously be very much needed in the locks as well. On the Rebels side of thing, they had Carter Gordon come off really late in the piece with a knock to the knee. Apparently he's had a bruise through the back of the knee for basically the whole season that he's been managing. Could not tell with the way he's been running. But yeah, just got a knock, flared that up, and they said that by getting him off, they thought they were a pretty good chance to turn him around and get him back for this weekend. So I'm not sure that that's 100% confident, but obviously they're pretty happy that it doesn't look too severe.
Yeah, that was one of those bittersweet moments where, as Tars fans, we were stoked that we were winning the game, but when Carter Gordon went down, we all went, "Oh no, please don't, please be all right." But
he's really evolved into our hope. I was chatting to Harry previously about, obviously we want Craig Cooper and Craig Cooper firing, but if he is not firing, I throw Carter Gordon in at my 10 for the Wallabies in the World Cup. He is that good at the moment, and he really steers this side around. For the Highlanders, obviously we talked about a few people missing and a few changes. We don't know what's happening with Dixon, but we could end up with another makeshift lock pairing. We had Frizzell there last week. We had Renton come on into it, and Marino Mikiele Tu'u come on to the back row. Will we see Mikiele Tu'u come back into this back row, Cargie?
Look, I think we do, because you have to see a Shannon Frizzell rest this week. They got the exemption.
So you were saying you're going to shift.
Well, look, if they have Parry Parkinson and Will Tucker back, if they have two locks back starting, then they'll probably have to rest Shannon. He got an exemption last week to play a 5th or 6th game in a row, whatever it was, probably 6th game in a row, I think. So you'd have to think they'll have to rest him this game, and that would see if they have the locks back, and or even if they don't, then maybe they have to chuck Marino in there or someone else. But I think we'll see Mikiele Tu'u playing, which is something we'd all like to see. We just want to see more of it.
Not me. No, held him for 12 rounds. As soon as I sacked him, he gets a big run. Not me.
Harry, you still love him, mate, even though he's not in your fantasy team.
All right, I love him. You got me.
Look, they didn't get a win last week, but there's something that's turned around for the Highlanders, and that thing that's turned around is Jonah Nareki is on the field. He came straight back into some good form. I think he looked pretty promising last week. And he may have scored off a clear knock-on that somehow got missed, even though they looked at it and looked for it. But he has got his jet shoes on. I do think maybe he's kicking the ball too much.
Is that because you want him to kick it never?
Yeah.
Oh no, he can kick it when he's going to score a try himself. That's fine. I'll let that happen.
But I think you're right, Nels. He's a genuine game breaker, and it's just something they've been missing. Don't get me wrong, they've had some all right outside backs. Like Sam Gilbert's been fantastic, things like that, but they just haven't had a genuine game breaker, individual brilliance type of thing. And boy, was he showing that last week.
So he's basically not played for a year and a half. He missed all or most of last year, and he's only just really returned. That was his first start yet. He got 84 metres, 3 line breaks, 3 tackle busts. He scored himself a try. He's a superstar for them.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. On the other end of the spectrum for them, we said Ethan de Groot back. Jermaine Ainsley was benched last week for a bit of a rest. Those two guys coming back in again with, I assume, Makaleo at hooker. that front row has been absolutely exceptional for them this year. And I think it's a real point of difference that they're going to have to lean on, because it's an area of the game where I don't really think it matters who they come up against. When they've been in form, they've been arguably the most dominant scrum in the competition. And I think that's somewhere that they have to really try and press against the Rebels, who, although I think they've got a lot of depth in their front row, I don't think any of them have been able to stand up to the same height of top quality that the Highlanders have at their best.
It might finally be time for the Rebels to start the caboose and pony combo. Put the big boys on and Walesi again, although he didn't seem to do that much last week. But I just mean put your biggest front row on. So, yeah, true. I think they'll be good. Did we talk about Freddie Burns?
Not yet.
We have not.
Do we think...
Freddie Burns, Harry, you were saying he looked a little bit more sure-footed, a little bit more stable and confident guiding the team around last week?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of moments that he didn't look, completely convincing. But in a new side, I thought he was really good last week. I thought that he controlled the team well, kicked well, made good decisions, and just got them into the right area of the park. And I think his form in that first 50, 60 minutes was a big part of why they went as well as they did. I think it'll be hard to drop him, to be honest. Mitch Hunt, probably not had his best season. We know at his best he can be, really quite solid. But I think Freddie Burns is going to be a big part of this game. If they can play solid front row, man up in D, Aaron Smith controlling the game, and Freddie Burns just pinning the corners, that's not a bad template to start with.
Well, we've now sent his first tackle assist of the season after 332 minutes. But he's kicking at 70% and he's tackling at 55%. So there are a couple of things there that kind of throw a little bit of spanner in the works.
I mean, I didn't say he's been good all year. I said he was good on the weekend.
No, I'm just saying his defense isn't good, and it's actually woeful, and his kicking hasn't been very good. So
that's an English 10 for you, though, mate. Tackling optional. But I think he was very good, and particularly Folau Fakatava obviously had a great game last week, but I think compared to Mitch Hunt, he just seems to give that back line more time and space. He just kind of really is a calm head, but it just seems like he has more time and space. I don't know. It's like he slows down, can make better decisions. So you combine that with Aaron Smith back as well. And yeah, that's a pretty formidable pairing if just what that can give to the rest of the back line and really unlock it. So
loads of experience.
On the red side of things, guys, what about Matty Phillip? 2 weeks ago was an outside chance of playing. He must be getting very, very close. I want to see Matt Phillip back and having a run around, because I think there's no guarantee that they're going to play finals, although I hope they do. The games are starting to run out. I want him to get some time and get his opportunity to put his name forward for the Wallabies.
It's a pretty exciting back row partnership with Hosea Canham and then throwing Phillip back into the mix as well. So that's becoming a real strong point for the Rebels.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things. If we do see Phillip, unless they want to rest someone, I think we'd see him from the bench almost, because Hosea and Canham have just been brilliant. Canham particularly has been.
Hey, let's be honest. If he was fit at 100%, he walks in as their starting lock. Canham has been great. Hosea's had one or two good games. It hasn't been consistent. Matt Phillip is by far their top lock, regardless of Canham's form.
I agree with Cargie. I think he has to come in and work his way back from the bench, and he'll do it in 1 week. But he has to start on the bench in his first week.
And this is me saying that, and I've kept him in my fantasy team because I'm backing him to come back. So I want him to start badly. But I just think that the way the other guys have been playing, you kind of have to bring him back from the bench. But although I do concede, he's got 3 games to show some footy if he wants to make the Wallabies squad. Otherwise, he's not getting picked by Eddie if he's not playing footy. So anything else for the Rebs, really? Monty Ioane, is he going to catch any passes to score some tries? Or he just feels like...
This week, I'm all about him scoring some tries again. So yes, I hope he does catch those passes. The first one was actually not a great pass at all, but it definitely was compounded by the second one, which probably wasn't that bad of a pass.
We should push on. The only last question I wanted to ask about the Rebels, I guess, was Stacey Ely or David Feluai, the Romanian rumbler. How do we feel about that?
Toss a coin.
Toss a coin?
Yeah.
If you have to pick one, I want to see David Feluai. What about you guys?
I do, because I'm curious about him, but Stacey Ely's form in the first half was too good to ignore as well. The first half of the season, he was so good. So he probably deserves it.
Yeah, I agree.
I was going to say Alex Murphy surely back in to start as well. And I can't believe, Cargie, that you haven't really pushed for the Ekawasi at 6, Tamati Ioane at 8 combo yet.
Look, I mean, They just haven't played Smarty Winey at all that I've almost forgotten about him. You know, I mean, that goes without saying, obviously, but
Hardwick's too good.
it's Hardwick playing at 8 has suddenly got people convinced. Like I was talking to Newbum and Blake at the game, and they both thought he's enormous, that he's this enormous number 8. And
he came and chatted to us after the game as well. He's tiny.
I
don't know how the hell he plays as big as he does.
They both thought he was way bigger than Brad Wilkin. I went, no, Brad Wilkin's definitely taller and heavier than him. And he is when you look it up. So I was like, he's not a number 8, Richard Hardwick, but he has been playing some fantastic footy. So anyway, we should move on. Let's get to the Chiefs Hurricanes. Now,
tip, mate. Tip.
Oh, tips. Sorry. Tips. Okay. Harry, you go first on this one then. Nels, sorry. It's Nelson's turn. Nels, you go first, mate.
You've been out of the game too long, mate. Look, I think the Nareki factor is enough for the Landers to get the win here, even if I don't want it to happen. I want these good times to keep running with the Aussie wins, but I'm going to say the Landers will get it one and done by 8 points.
Harry, what do you got?
I'm going Rebels 3, mate. Highlanders sucked all year.
Mate, they have no recce.
Up the Rebels.
I hope you're right.
I would love to give the Rebels a chance if they have Carter Gordon. If there's no Carter Gordon, no, look, screw that. I'm going Highlanders. What did you go, Nels?
Mate, you're going to be an outlier. You got to go for a draw.
I'm definitely not going for a draw. How much did you say Highlanders by? 8? Is that what you said?
He doesn't know.
All right, well, I'm going Highlanders by 12. All right.
Wow. Nah, you guys are dreaming.
Highlanders at home under the roof.